There is nothing you can do to feel on time if your visual progressions are late. Let's get started. My name is Davis Hewitt, and this is Timing Preferences, aka TPE, and I thank you for being here, even if it's to disagree. Today we're going to be talking about vision and visual progressions. First of all, I'm not an optometrist, and anything you hear in this video can't be regarded as medical advice. What I'm going to do is bring clarity to the parts of vision that are used in the baseball hitting process, and also the visual progressions that we spend a lot of time talking about as we get into the season and care to be on time with a live pitcher. So we're going to dig into what vision means, how to improve it, and then how it applies to our visual progressions, because it's one of the items on our list that you find in the best offer as a hitter survey. That's the quality control department of Timing Preferences, making sure that you know what product we want to put in the box day after day. Here's what we will be covering in this video: vision, visual progressions, and then also we'll get into approach and making predictions about where the ball is going to end up. Here's what we won't get to in this video: the advanced approaches that give us zone or plate discipline, hand-eye coordination, and pitch recognition, obviously a big part of hitting. We will approach all of these topics in the vision and timing program, which I'll mention a little bit more about later. I'm going to use this space right here as sort of a digital blackboard. You can see the green screen behind me. I have some really cool things planned, but honestly, it's just too cold to do this video outside. Let's talk about vision. Most of the time when somebody mentions vision, they're talking about the Snellen test, which is where you read a chart. Hopefully there's one right here. And they talk about it in terms of 20/20 or 40/20 or 20/10 vision. And really what that is measuring is, can you see what the average person can see from 20 feet away? 20 is usually the common denominator, but if you can see something from 20 feet that most individuals see from 10 feet, it's said to be 20/10 vision. This is obviously not that advanced of a piece of technology, but it is what's used to determine our visual acuity. There are other tests like peripheral vision, color blindness test, etc. If it's been a while since you've taken the Snellen test or read a chart on the wall, I would recommend that you do that. Step one, get your vision checked. Make sure that that is not inhibiting your skill set. I'm personally convinced that the single greatest opportunity for hitters in the realm of timing and vision is simply knowing what the hell is going on. I have done a couple of posts on vision before, my favorite one being where you can slide back and forth between the phases of the visual progressions to really see what's happening in the moment. There's two types of vision that we're going to talk about briefly. The first is smooth pursuit. And to keep it simple, this is an easily trackable object that you can catch and follow with your eyes. The other type of vision that you'll use is a saccade. Saccade, S-A-C-C-A-D-E, is a quick twitch version of vision. It's used to track objects that are moving too fast that our eyes can't exactly lock onto. You can read a number of studies on saccades. A lot of them were done with primates. Those experiments found multiple ways of speeding up saccades, but boiled down to it, the anticipation of a target, a visual target, allowed saccades to be cut nearly in half. But there's two very important things to know about saccades. Number one, they consider you to be effectively blind when you are using a saccade. The other thing is that you can improve on them. What they found is that by taking away a stimulus and really applying an anticipatory moment and location for the saccades to operate, they were able to whittle down those times. Smooth pursuit eyesight can be trained, but it's not the hardest working part of our visual field. Saccades are where we really have an ability to become more precise and organized with how we're advancing our eyes. As I've told you already, this stuff is trainable. Your vision is something that you can improve on with a little bit of effort. I'm going to show you some of the tools that we use to warm up the eyes before hitting, or totally reboot the visual progressions in case someone's gotten stale or lost control of where they're looking. This is the first item, and it's called a Brock string. It's a simple string with beads on it where when you pull it taut, can be used to converge your eyes at different spots along a line. When done correctly, you'll see the bead with clarity, and each eye will pick up the rope going into the bead, creating an X. This is one of the easiest ways that we warm up our eyes, first from straight on, but then from the left and right eye, especially the side that we're going to be hitting from. Another item that we use is hacky sacks, and this is for juggling purposes. My favorite thing about the hacky sacks, aside from it improving your saccades and your ability to see with peripheral vision, is that it really helps you build a skill. You start with 1 and work your way on to 2, 3, and 4. And as I tell guys all the time, if you can get to 4, you can get to 100. This is a great way to warm up your vision and your focus before getting into any cage or batter's box to work on your craft. One of the more intense and difficult ways of training the saccades is to juggle with an eye patch covering one of your eyes. You'll really have to focus on keeping your field of vision, switch eyes, then use both eyes. You'll find it's easier to do. Your eyes are working together more efficiently because you improved each one on its own. Juggling isn't the only monocular exercise that you can do with the eye patch. This is great for tee, soft toss, front toss, or even picking up seam orientation from ball out of the hand. I'm also going to link a video either right here or I'll put it in the description, which is saccade training on your computer. They're free YouTube videos. You can go to them. I think there's 12 levels. It gets harder and harder to converge your eyes on the spot that they put on the screen. The next big thing we have to talk about today are visual progressions. This is found in our best offer as a hitter, as I mentioned earlier, because the study of timing quickly gave way to the study of our visual progressions. Most hitters don't know what they're doing with their eyes as the pitch is getting ready to be delivered. That's a problem. Without clarity, we can't have a process. So let's back it all the way up to the front and make sure we're clear about what's happening. Your eyes and your body will work similarly as you are getting ready to hit. I like to talk about the stages as going from relaxed to ready to active to effortful or hyper-focused. When you're in your stance, you are relaxed. You're not even ready. That's the same way your eyes are going to be when the pitcher's not a threat to throw. This early, very relaxed version of your eyesight can be put on a scale of 1 to 10. How focused are you when the pitcher's not even delivering the ball? Obviously, the answer should be pretty low. When he finally takes the mound, you do need to be ready. And we're going to start advancing our eyes to these known spots or checkpoints in our visual progressions to make sure that our abilities, our vision, is available to us at the critical moment. The best way to explain this is using slides that maybe we've seen before, but when the pitcher is pre-delivery, we need to know what we're doing with our eyes. We also need to know where we're going to take our eyes if they get stale or stuck. You'll see hitters do this a lot, where they're in the box looking at the pitcher and then they'll have to dart their eyes away. Either they're stealing signs or they're just trying to reset their vision so it doesn't get stagnant at a critical moment. When we move from relaxed to ready, we want to know where our eyes are going to start anticipating the delivery. When you move from relaxed to ready, this is the first time that your eyes have somewhere to report to. Are you going to look at the pitcher in general? Are you reading his jersey or looking at the bill of his hat or maybe even the logo on his hat? This is the first checkpoint for our eyes in getting prepared to hit. From ready, we become active. Active in our body, the rhythm starts to pick up and we prepare to start. When we move from ready to active, the body becomes active, so do the eyes, and we start to anticipate your start cue. The question here is, do you look for the start cue exactly? Are you really honing in on it? Or are you someone who prefers to use peripheral vision and sort of vaguely see the moment to start? No matter which one you are, your eyes are going to start moving slowly and calmly to the release window so that we can anticipate all of the information that's about to be given to us upon release. When that hand does start to come through the release window, that is when we are very effortful with our eyes and soon to be our body, and we require hyper focus. The ability to get to the loaded spot so we can read the pitch in a well-rehearsed manner and a well-rehearsed tempo is critical to your pitch recognition. There is nothing you can do to feel on time if your visual progressions are late. I'm going to say that one more time because it's very important to understand. There is nothing that you can do to feel on time if your visual progressions feel late. The other point that I want to make here is that the best hitters, the ones that can really condense their saccades, have a moment of non-focus just before the hand appears. We can work to take away our visual stimulus, thereby increasing the ability of our saccades to get to the correct spot. This, on top of knowing exactly where to look for the release point, is going to make our baseball skills play up. So we've made it to the question of how do we train visual progressions? And one of my favorite examples is Mookie Betts. I did a video a while back where I saw Mookie Betts using the same start cue as Ohtani when he was hitting on deck. And I said to myself, that doesn't make sense because their swing times are very different. So I did a little digging into what Mookie Betts might have been doing. And I'm now convinced that he was perfecting that spot of anticipation. He's making sure that his eyes are calm, cool, and collected, that his eyes are slow and early so that they can be on release and gaining all of the information at a critical moment. Again, the best way to train this or improve on it is to gain clarity. Practice these, work on the different solutions, and then write down which one you feel like works the best for you. If you're somebody that starts by focusing on the bill of the cap and then tracks their eyes out to the release point along the arm, you need to know that because that is going to give you the clarity in the box to be non-thinking in the moment. The second step to improving this is make use of the in-between reps. There's constantly players who are not watching the feeder or the thrower or the pitcher who could be honing in their visual progressions so that the first time they're in the box isn't the first time they've seen the release point. The first time they step in the box is not the first time they've started on time. You need to know where your eyes are going so that when you get in the box, there's no guesswork and you're simply on autopilot. I've actually made training videos that look just like this because I find it so important to know how your eyes are working before you get into the box. You can get into the app and watch dozens of these. You map it, you time it, you practice your starts, but then you can actually work on your peripheral vision, seeing the start cue and bringing the focus back to that spot. That's only available for experts. Get on the app. All of this is going to be put together into recommended warm-ups, specialty drills, and full-on training programs for your vision and your timing. That will be called the Vision and Timing Program. You also get the Vision Kit, which includes the Brock string, hacky sacks, and eye patch. By having these components solidified and clarified, it lends to the next component that we talk about, the approach. Now, I think there's a segue in there that has to do with predictions. All of these visual skills and visual progressions that we've talked about so far really just allow us to make better predictions about where the ball is going to end up. The reality of hitting is that you do not see the ball hit the bat, but you can set up your visual acuity abilities to see as much of what's going on up to that point, which directly affects our ability to make accurate predictions and get the bat to where the ball is. One of the ways that we really like to work on the visual progressions is with a drill called Battleship. You can see the Battleship drill also on my page. You start mastering your progressions in the box and then move steadily closer to the machine. Actually, you could do this Battleship drill on a live arm and make sure that your visual progressions are consistent even as you move closer to the pitcher. Even though you can't see the flight of the ball, the eyes are ready and available. The mastery of your visual progressions boost your pitch recognition by allowing more precise anticipation. This allows a hitter to split up or section off the zone so that they can hunt the information out of the hand. This further reduces the chaotic nature of our dance with the pitcher. As discussed, there's ways to work on our prediction abilities, and that contributes to our individualized approach, what we do well or don't do well. I've said many times that I think timing preferences becomes a personalized approach, an approach that's custom to you, and knowing your visual progressions is no small part of that. Be on the lookout for the Vision and Timing Program. It is on pre-order, and I will be debuting that any day now.